Welcome back to Once Upon a Voice, where every crime tells a story and every story leaves a scar. If you're drawn to the darkest corners of human nature and the emotions that drive people to the edge, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe because the next story might just stay with you forever.
In the spring of 1996, in the quiet lakeside town of Rosehill, Wisconsin, a baby girl was born to Madeline and Gerald Langston. They named her Clara. From the beginning, Clara was known for her bright, warm smile and the way she made everyone around her feel special. Her younger brother, Nathan, adored her. The two were inseparable, building forts in the backyard, racing their bikes through the neighborhood, and whispering secrets under the covers at night. Life was modest but full of love. The Langstons spent weekends watching movies, cooking meals together, and taking family walks along the lake. Clara's father, Gerald, was her rock, strong, gentle, and always present. But when Clara was only 5, their world shattered. Gerald passed away after a grueling battle with cancer. The loss hit everyone hard, but Clara felt it most deeply. She had been her father's shadow, and his absence left a silence that nothing seemed to fill. Madeline, now a single mother, did everything she could to hold the family together. With support from her brother, Henry, and neighbors in Rosehill, she kept life moving. Still, grief hung over their home like a curtain that never quite opened all the way. And just as Clara began to find her footing again, another tragedy struck. In 2009, Uncle Henry died in a freak accident, sustaining a fatal head injury during a highway pileup. Clara was 13, old enough to understand death, but too young to know how to carry it. Despite these wounds, Clara remained kind, empathetic, and deeply caring. She attended Rosehill High School, where she quickly became known for academic excellence and fierce passion for soccer. On the field, she was a whirlwind of energy, playing midfield with precision and heart. Her teammates described her as someone who lifted others up even when she was struggling herself. Off the field, Clara was the friend who remembered your birthday, who stayed up late helping others study, who offered a shoulder without being asked. At home, she was her mother's anchor. Madeline and Clara shared a bond so deep it felt spiritual. They cooked dinner together, Taco Tuesdays were sacred, and had heart-to-hearts during late-night drives through the countryside. "She wasn't just my daughter," Madeline once said. "She was my whole world." But not everything was visible on the surface. Behind Clara's bright eyes and athletic triumphs was a young girl battling private storms. By the time she entered high school, Clara began experiencing severe depression and anxiety. Her father's death had left a deep imprint, one that resurfaced each year around the anniversaries. She would become quiet, withdrawn, and emotionally distant. Therapy became a routine part of life, and medication helped manage the worst of it. Madeline never missed an appointment, always hopeful that love and care could lift Clara out of the fog. Though many of her classmates never knew, a few close friends understood that Clara carried a heavy burden. Some days, it was hard for her to get out of bed. Other times, anxiety hit so hard it left her breathless. She worried constantly about her grades, her game, her place in the world. Through it all, Madeline was there, trying to be both mother and safety net. But even with all the effort, no one could see the full weight Clara bore. Then came the turning point. In her freshman year, Clara met a boy named Aaron Wyatt. Aaron was a year older, a rising star on the football team, with a magnetic presence and easy charm. At first, he seemed like a dream, attentive, protective, romantic. To everyone watching, it was a sweet teenage love story. But beneath the surface, things were far from innocent. As weeks passed, Aaron's behavior changed. He grew possessive, demanding to know who Clara talked to, pushing her to unfollow male classmates on social media, and monitoring her every move. The emotional manipulation started subtly. He would say things like, "I only act this way because I love you," or "no one else will ever care about you the way I do." Clara, already vulnerable from years of grief and self-doubt, found herself folding under the pressure. Texts between them painted a heartbreaking picture. Aaron's words were cold, dismissive, and often cruel. He ended conversations abruptly, dismissed her feelings, and played emotional tug-of-war. Clara's messages in return were filled with apology, confusion, and sadness. She spoke of missing her dad, of feeling empty, of being tired. Her spark began to fade. Friends noticed. Teachers noticed. Madeline noticed. When Madeline confronted her daughter about the relationship, Clara admitted things weren't right. She tried to leave Aaron multiple times, but each attempt ended in more manipulation, threats of self-harm, guilt-tripping, promises to change. It was a vicious cycle. Finally, midway through her sophomore year, Clara broke it off for good. But the damage had already been done. She blamed herself for staying, for believing, for loving too much. Her mother reminded her every day that she wasn't to blame, that she was brave. But Clara's light had dimmed, and no one knew how to turn it back on.
If you're enjoying this story, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means the world to us. We're just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video.
Then came the day that changed everything. It was Tuesday, June 22nd, 2013. Clara, now 15, had a quiet morning at home due to standardized testing at school. She had online classes, and Madeline had to leave early for work. She peeked into Clara's room before leaving. Clara was in bed, pretending to be asleep. Madeline leaned down, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "I love you." Something didn't feel right. Later that morning, Madeline sent a text checking in. "You okay? Need anything? Don't forget therapy later." Clara replied simply, "I'm sorry." Confused, Madeline texted back, "For what?" There was no reply. She called. No answer. She called again. Nothing. Panic took over. Madeline checked their home's cameras. No alerts. Nothing out of the ordinary. But in her gut, she knew. When she returned home, Clara was gone. The town of Rosehill was rocked. At her funeral, hundreds gathered, many wearing sky blue ribbons, her favorite color. Friends shared stories. Her soccer team hosted a memorial match in her name. A mental health awareness fund was launched in her honor. Clara's story spread far beyond Rosehill, touching hearts across Wisconsin. But for Madeline, the pain didn't end there. It only deepened. In the weeks after the funeral, she started reading Clara's journals, revisiting messages, piecing together moments she hadn't fully understood before. The more she saw, the more convinced she became that Aaron had pushed Clara to the edge, that his cruelty had chipped away at her spirit until there was nothing left. Anger replaced sorrow. Then came obsession. She began tracking Aaron's whereabouts, watching from a distance, wanting closure, but what she really wanted was justice. And one August night, she snapped. It was August 30th, 2013. A house party on the west side of Rosehill. Aaron was there. Madeline showed up just after 11 p.m., dressed in black, eyes swollen from crying. She brought a kitchen knife with her. Witnesses say she walked straight through the garage, past the music, past the crowd, and confronted him in the basement. There was yelling, screaming, then silence. Aaron was found with a single stab wound to the chest, dead before the ambulance arrived. Madeline turned herself in an hour later. The town was stunned. Some called her a murderer. Others called her a mother broken beyond repair. At her trial, her attorney presented Clara's messages and journal entries as evidence. The emotional abuse, the signs no one acted on, the system that failed her. In the end, the court convicted Madeline of second-degree murder, but acknowledged her mental state. She was sentenced to 18 years in prison, eligible for parole in 9. The story of Clara Langston lives on, not just as a story of loss, but as a chilling reminder of how trauma ripples, how grief can twist into rage, and how love, when pushed past its breaking point, can turn deadly. Her name is etched into a memorial at Rosehill High. A plaque reads, "Clara Langston, kind, fierce, forever loved." And behind those words lies a story that still haunts Rosehill to this day.
Thanks for watching. If you found this story gripping, there's more where that came from. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next chilling case. And if you have theories or thoughts, drop them in the comments. We read them all. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.